I don't know that we are allowed to broadcast the C word, but you did reference Victoria Beckham earlier, and we'll allow that.
Oh. A spark turned into a storm the moment Katherine Ryan opened her mouth. What began as a sharp, unexpected quip on live BBC television sent shockwaves through the audience and beyond. The room laughed, then gasped. Within hours, screens lit up with outrage, defense, and disbelief. Something about this moment struck a nerve. The BBC faced a question it couldn't dodge, and viewers wanted answers. But what exactly did Ryan say that set everything off? And why can't anyone seem to agree on it? Unexpected outburst sparks. Backlash. The controversy ignited when comedian Katherine Ryan made an uncensored remark about the Beckham couple during her appearance on the BBC panel show, Have I Got News for You?
Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You. I'm Katherine Ryan. In the news this week. As the party leaders rush to respond to Rachel Reeves' pre-budget speech, Ed Davey provides a typically nuanced response.
Known for her sharp and often provocative humor, Ryan's comment pushed boundaries in a way that immediately drew attention. Viewers were quick to react, splitting between those who found the joke hilarious and others who felt it crossed a line of decency, sparking fierce debate about what can be said on national television. During the broadcast, Ryan joked, "I don't know if we are allowed to broadcast the C word, but you did reference Victoria Beckham earlier, and we'll allow that." The exchange followed Maisie Adams' remark about David Beckham's knighthood.
It would have been nice and maybe like poetic if Charles had got his own back just by, knighting him and then going, "Arise, you know?"
Ryan laughed, adding, "I like her really. I didn't expect that reaction." This backlash was not limited to social media outrage. Complaints reached BBC executives, prompting questions about editorial oversight and the suitability of certain language on a public broadcaster. The incident has highlighted the fine balance the BBC tries to maintain between allowing comedians freedom to be bold and protecting its audience from potentially offensive content. While comedy often thrives on pushing limits, the timing and context of Ryan's remarks seem to many to have triggered an extreme reaction. Despite the uproar, the exact substance of Ryan's statement remains somewhat shrouded in partial explanations, teasing viewers and critics alike. The intrigue lies in why this single comment penetrated so deeply into public consciousness, drawing more attention than countless other controversial jokes in recent years. Understanding this reaction requires a closer look at the BBC's handling of the situation and the broader cultural currents swirling around public discourse today. The network's handling of this incident reveals the challenges it faces in balancing creative freedom and regulatory responsibility. BBC's response and editorial decisions. Following the outcry, BBC bosses found themselves under pressure to respond swiftly and strategically. The corporation's editorial team defended its decision not to censor the comment during the live broadcast, citing commitments to creative freedom and the nature of satirical comedy. However, insiders also revealed that the BBC is deeply conscious of its public funding and the need to uphold certain standards, making this a tricky situation to navigate. Despite the on-air freedom given to panelists, the BBC reportedly reviewed the episode internally to assess if any guidelines were breached. This review process highlighted the internal tensions between maintaining a space for uninhibited comedic expression and adhering to impartiality and respect policies. Critics argue that the subsequent media coverage and social media backlash forced the BBC to reconsider how such moments are managed in future broadcasts. This incident also brings into focus the subtle ways editorial decisions are influenced by public opinion and regulatory bodies like Ofcom. The BBC's handling can be seen as an attempt to appease different stakeholders, comedians demanding artistic license, viewers expecting respect, and regulators monitoring content compliance. This complexity underscores the challenges of live televised comedy, where the unpredictable meets the strict rules of public broadcasting. The comedians themselves reacted in ways that mirrored the wider public's division, revealing deep fissures in how humor and free speech are perceived. Comedian communities, support and division. In the wake of the backlash, many in the comedy community publicly supported Katherine Ryan, defending her right to speak freely and criticizing calls for the show to be canceled.
I do have to clarify, David Beckham denies some of what is in these alleged emails. He says it's the work of Russian hackers.
Fellow comedians viewed the incident as another example of cancel culture threatening comedic creativity, arguing that humor often requires pushing societal boundaries to provoke thought and laughter simultaneously. For them, policing jokes too strictly risks stifling the very nature of satire and free expression. Conversely, some comedians acknowledge the controversy as a sign that comic content needs to evolve alongside changing cultural sensitivities. They voiced concerns that certain topics or language, once overlooked or accepted, might now require more careful handling to avoid alienating audiences or perpetuating harmful stereotypes. This split revealed a broader debate within comedy about how to balance edginess with respect, with no clear consensus emerging. This divide not only reflects differing philosophies about the purpose of comedy, but also highlights the consequences comedians face in today's more connected and vocal public landscape. Where once a joke's reach was limited, social media now amplifies every word, intensifying scrutiny and repercussions. Such intense public and professional reactions inevitably fueled a social media storm, marking the next phase of this unfolding story. Audience reactions and social media storm. Public response to Katherine Ryan's uncensored comment quickly intensified across social media platforms, with passionate opinions pouring in from all sides. One viewer fumed, "Unacceptable broadcasting of the C word. This is a recorded program. Who at the BBC thought it was okay not to cut it out?" Another wrote, "Heads should roll for allowing the C word to be broadcast at least twice." Others defended Ryan, calling the outrage an overreaction, while one commenter noted, "It's satire. If we can't laugh at this, what can we laugh at?"
That man sneezing. David Beckham.
David Beckham, very close.
David Beckham.
Fans of the show expressed frustration, feeling that the BBC's decision to allow such language compromised the program's reputation and the broadcaster's standards. Many viewers called for the episode to be pulled from future broadcasts, or even for the show's cancellation, reflecting a broader unease about the direction of televised comedy on public channels. At the same time, some vocal defenders praised the comedian's boldness and criticized what they saw as an overreaction fueled by cancel culture. Supporters argued that satire has always pushed societal comfort zones and that policing jokes too rigorously threatens artistic expression. This clash between outrage and defense created a polarized environment online, magnifying the controversy and ensuring it remained a trending topic far beyond the initial broadcast. The volume and emotional charge of these reactions underscore how deeply comedy and language standards resonate with audiences today. Social media's power to amplify discontent and support alike has turned isolated moments into national debates about taste, humor, and accountability. As the public conversation raged, it also spotlighted the increasing difficulty broadcasters face when trying to satisfy viewers with drastically different views and expectations. Such fierce discourse gains further meaning when seen against the backdrop of the BBC's historical battles over censorship and creative freedom. Historical context of BBC censorship. The BBC's tussle with controversial content is hardly new, with a long history of navigating the tricky line between artistic license and public acceptability. From landmark clashes over political satire to clashes involving comedians pushing societal boundaries, the corporation has repeatedly faced pressure to censor or moderate material deemed offensive or risky. These moments have often sparked fierce debates about the broadcaster's role in challenging norms versus upholding community standards. Past controversies have included issues around language, political commentary, and depictions of sensitive topics, setting precedents for how the BBC manages live or recorded comedy shows. In several instances, comedians and producers have publicly criticized the BBC for stifling creativity or retreating too quickly under criticism. Conversely, the BBC often points to its responsibility as a publicly funded institution to reflect and respect broad audience expectations, creating an ongoing tug-of-war. This latest episode involving Katherine Ryan fits into a broader pattern of evolving cultural sensitivities and regulatory scrutiny facing the BBC. It highlights how changes in public attitudes and social media dynamics have intensified both the potential for backlash and the institutional responses to it. Understanding this context helps explain why a single comment about high-profile figures like the Beckhams can escalate into a full-blown crisis for a broadcaster renowned for its comedy traditions. The ripple effects of this controversy suggest that the BBC's future approach to comedy might look very different. Comedy at a crossroads. The backlash over Katherine Ryan's uncensored remark has forced the BBC to confront a growing dilemma. How far can live comedy go before it crosses the line? Executives now face pressure to tighten control without dulling the unscripted energy that makes shows like Have I Got News for You thrive. The debate has sparked internal reviews, hinting at stricter editorial oversight and a more cautious approach to risky humor. This moment goes beyond one controversial comment. It reflects a broader cultural shift where public tolerance and outrage can swing within minutes online. The BBC may soon introduce real-time editing options, clearer rules for panelists, and new training for hosts, all to avoid another flashpoint. Yet the bigger question remains: can comedy still provoke thought without fear of punishment? The tension between free expression and public responsibility is redefining entertainment on national TV. As the BBC recalibrates its boundaries, every joke now carries more weight, and every laugh a potential backlash. Katherine Ryan's uncensored comment has ignited a fierce debate about comedy, censorship, and public standards on the BBC. This controversy reveals the challenges broadcasters face in balancing creative freedom with audience expectations and regulatory demands. As the BBC adjusts its approach, the question remains: how far can humor push boundaries in today's complex cultural climate? If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into today's hottest media stories.